You're siding with the perpetrators and you're ignoring the victims. That will be your legacy unless you act quickly to change course. You're running a massive Epstein cover-up right out of the Department of Justice. You've been ordered by subpoena and by Congress to turn over 6 million documents, photographs, and videos in Epstein files, but you've turned over only 3 million. You say you're not turning over the other 3 million because they're somehow duplicative, but we know that there are actual memos of victim statements in there, and you also took down the Department of Justice's prosecution memo from 2019. So it's clearly not all duplicative, but even if it were, why not release it? Just release all the duplicative stuff. In the half you did produce, you redacted the names of abusers, enablers, accomplices, and co-conspirators, apparently to spare them embarrassment and disgrace, which is the exact opposite of what the law ordered you to do. Even worse, you shockingly failed to redact many of the victims' names, which is what you were ordered to do by Congress. Some of the victims had come forward publicly, but many had not. Many had kept their torment private, even from family and friends, but you published their names, their identities, their images on thousands of pages for the world to see. So you ignored the law, and even with over 100,000 employees at your disposal, you acted with some mixture of staggering incompetence, cold indifference, and jaded cruelty towards more than 1,000 victims raped, abused, and trafficked. This performance screams cover-up. Convicted sex trafficker and groomer Ghislaine Maxwell opened the gates of hell to Virginia Giuffre and hundreds of other victims, as Virginia recorded in her remarkable book, Nobody's Girl. But when Maxwell was subpoenaed to come testify before Congress, you and Todd Blanche quickly moved her from a higher security prison to a minimum security camp in Texas, where she's enjoyed 5-star treatment, including catered meals, private gym time, and access to a therapy puppy.
Why is no one holding the non-answering in Congress as if they didn't show up to the hearing at all? They can apparently answer however they want, according to Jim Jordan, but the answers are to bring up the DOJ under another president. The answers are to bring up the economy and otherwise propagate pro-Trump bullshit.
The Dow is over $50,000. I don't know why you're laughing. You're a great stock trader, as I hear, Raskin. The Dow is over 50,000 right now. The S&P at almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and retirement savings are booming. That's what we should be talking about.
Why are we allowing Congress to become more broken than it already is? I appreciate that Raskin, Massey, and Khanna, Jerry Paul, and others holding Bondi's feet to the fire, but with no actual accountability. I fear she's right. It is simply theatrics. She should be impeached, not only for her part in the original Florida investigation where she was AG, but also because she exposed Epstein's victims. They were asked to take the files down in full right away to correctly redact victims' names, and not a damn thing was done. The victims in Congress all said she hasn't contacted or communicated with them otherwise. Why is that? Why does she not want to know what they have to say? Their testimony should be dug into from 20 years ago and then everything that's happened since. Epstein and his fellow traffickers victimized these females, but the U.S. justice system has continued that victimization.
The most expeditious way to get justice for these victims is to bring inherent contempt against Pam Bondi. Rokan and I are talking about and drafting that right now.
Trump has been reportedly counted over 1 million times in the unredacted files that only Congress got to lay eyes on. He is counted to be in the files shared with the public 38,000 times. I want to know if the 38,000 times are the cleaned and disputable mentions of Trump, whereas the other 1 million mentions of him are too damning to share. They knew they couldn't clean his name out 100%, so they left the parts that they believed would soothe the MAGA base.
Not release the Epstein files.
I don't know.
Yeah. Was it? Did you find that odd that he said he was going to release it and then immediately was like, we're not releasing them?
Would you want your name brought up? He probably had some. I don't know. He probably had some friends that were involved in it, and he saved them, a lot of trouble.
Do you think that's a presidential thing to do?
Well, if you go through history and look, many more presidents have favored their friends and favored their family. I mean, everybody does that.
Right. Is that how the president should be acting, protecting rich and powerful people over victims of sex crimes?
Every president does it.
Every president hides sex crimes?
John F. Kennedy.
Okay.
But he got caught.
Right. Well, John F. Kennedy was having affairs, but I don't know that there were crimes.
And he got caught.
Okay.
But that's not very becoming of a United States president, right?
Right. So the answer, you don't agree with Donald Trump on that, on protecting powerful people over the victims of crimes?
All depends on who the powerful people are.
Shouldn't the presidents be taking care of all Americans and not just people with lots of money? I'm
not a rich and powerful person, so it didn't interfere with me. It doesn't bother me about what them people want to do.
Yeah.
I got to pay up for what I do.
And could you tell me your first and last name and No? Why not? And where you represent?
No.
No? Why? You're a state senator here? State representative. Okay.
That's why.
Oh, but you said you work for the state. You're a representative official.
I do.
Okay. So why are you showing me a badge?
Because I have it.
Okay.
And I work for them, my country.
Right, but you are an elected official right now, right? Okay. Certainly an odd interview there.
Mr. Speaker, I rise to ask a point of parliamentary inquiry. Is this an appropriate time to point out that the Republicans named Children's Savings Account in their so-called One Big Beautiful Bill after Donald Trump, someone connected to one of the most notorious pedophiles in this country? Or that the Speaker of the House just lied on the floor by stating that there was protections for the victims in the Epstein bill?
The gentleman is no longer recognized.
And so, as the sitting president of the U.S., who has the unique position to nuke countries, invade American homes, and annex our neighbors, we want to know.
How would you like to be the husband of the wife that was, playing around with a 14-year-old kid? Unbelievable. By the way, did you see what she looked like?
It's not bad.
Not bad? Yeah, I'd say so.
No. Well,
I know a lot of guys are trying to date her right now, Don.
well, I don't know what your teachers looked like when you were in school, but
None of them look like that, believe me. So do you think this 14-year-old kid is scarred forever? He might have put the move on her. It might have given him confidence, actually.
Is he a pedophile? Or just a pedophile protector? How in the hell is he calling himself the smartest man on earth, that he knows more than anyone about everything, and he was friends with a super pedo? He went to every one of his residents. He doesn't know about the trafficking that was right under his nose? You've got to be fucking kidding me. Trafficking on a plane he rode in on? Trafficking in the house that he partied at? Trafficking from his own fucking Mar-a-Lago residence. Trump knew. He still knows. And he wants to gaslight and use his puppets to gaslight, but we cannot let him.
Two very, very disturbing photos in the Epstein files. And I debated on whether I should even show these photos. But we're being gaslit that a lot of these victims were like 16 or 17. Megyn Kelly even said, it's not like they were 8. Okay, here's the first photo. This girl's like 10. She's just a kid. My daughter has shoes that are very similar to those shoes. And here's the other photo. And this girl's like 8 years old. And her shirt is pulled down. And I want to make it very clear that the first thing this administration did when they went into office is they redacted all of the co-conspirators' names before the Epstein Transparency Act even passed. The FBI knows who took this photo. They know who this photo was sent to. They know who sent the photo. And they are trying to protect those people.